Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. That means all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Most High and His Son. I hope everyone can hear me, whoever this pertains to. All right, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, who I learned the truth from, and salutations unto the brothers out there pushing the truth, and the ancestors of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. This is just a open forum I'm going to do. As again, I said, whoever this pertains to, whoever this letter reaches, all right, because these are letters that we're doing, what the brothers are doing, the videos, they're e-letters, electronic letters, all right. This segment of GMS to your health is going to be an open forum. I'm going to keep my eye on the comment board if anyone brings up anything. All right. Yeah, basically the spirit got on me. Lord's will, I'm going to do a little bit more of these kind of videos to get into the health. Again, disclaimer, I'm going to probably say this a couple times throughout the video. I'm not an MD, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not an ND, which is a naturopathic doctor. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutrition. All right. I'm just a guy who knows some stuff. All right. This knowledge is from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This knowledge is what I learned from the apostles in my own studies through trials and experiences. All right. I have worked with NDs, which are naturopathic doctors and holistic practitioners. So to the best of my knowledge, what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai gave me basically. But I wanted to start off on the biblical diet. All right, the biblical diet. Because you have nowadays, you go online or you just might run across an article about a diet, right? A hot one right now, what people are tuning into is a ketogenic diet. If you heard about that, okay? Basic run through. You cut out majority of your carbohydrates. All right. For brothers, people don't know, you have three main macronutrients. Macro meaning large. Okay. You have protein, fat, and carbohydrates, which carbs turn into sugars. You have complex and simple carbs. Different story. Okay. Basic. The gist of it is that your carbs turn into sugar, which then is used by your body for energy. Okay. Your brain uses a lot of it, etc. Goes to your muscles and other parts of the body. Ketogenic diet, you might consume 15 grams of carbohydrates, which is anyone that does that daily, your brain might shut down, your body might shut down. The reason being, or the point of that, is when you cut down your carbs to a certain point, people say you enter into ketosis, which is a state that uses your ketones, which is produced by the liver, as energy. In an emergency situation, if you don't have food, especially sugar, carbohydrates, which is the prime glucose, right? That's what your brain is looking for, glucose, right? When it's deprived of that, your body is either going to shut down. Most likely, what it will do is enter into survival mode and use ketones. Okay, those are fuels of energy as well, but that is only in an emergency situation or in a situation that you physically restrict yourself. Case in point, ketogenic diet. Reason being, people do this. They cut out carbs. The only carbs they consume is from like whole leafy vegetables, like kale, spinach, cucumber. Those have very minimal carbs, which if you eat a lot of that, like I said, it adds up to like around 15. Some people go 20. But there's a certain point that there's a certain amount of carbs you can only consume before you get out of the state of ketosis, which is again using ketones as energy source and not glucose. carbohydrates. And they have special machines, you know, or you know, like where they prick your finger and the machine reads a certain number, and if you're within that range, you're in ketosis. You know, so people do this. Again, there's so many diets. That's just one example. There's many diets. There's Dr. Sebi's diet, which brothers take in and listen. Again, nothing wrong with that. Okay, nothing wrong with ketogenic diet, right? Where you consume a high amount of fat, good fat, all right? Because there's bad fat and there's good fat, all right? Don't drink the Kool-Aid. There's good fat and there's bad fat. Your brain needs a lot of that good fat to survive, to function. So they consume a high amount of fat and protein, low carbs. Dr. Sebi's diet, right? Where it's all vegan, raw, alkaline food. Again, where are we going back to? Where's our strong tower? All right, let's bring it out. Gotta get the scriptures out, man. Because this is all about the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The point being, I'm bringing this lesson out is don't get caught up in man's traditions and man's philosophies. So like I'm just looking for a scripture about health and wellness, because everyone has a foundation, and when you realize what that person's foundation is or that person's foundation is, it might not be in correlation with the scriptures. And I'm gonna tell you right now, most likely it's not. Right? Most likely their foundation is not the scriptures, which should make you scratch your head. Proverbs 18:10, the name of the Lord Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. That is our tower. That is our foundation. All right? It's these laws of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If you're not running back into that tower, right, and going back to your foundation and figuring out what's what, then you're going off your own opinion, or worse yet, you're going off someone else's opinion, which is the same shit, because it's all vanity. It's all vain at the end of the day, right? You got to go back to the foundation. So, the biblical diet. Let's go to the biblical diet. Okay? Like I said, I talked about Dr. Sebi. He's a great, he had great power to heal, man. He healed people with AIDS, diabetes, type 1 and type 2, cancer, when AIDS was big, right? You have HIV and you have AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Your own immune system attacks you, your own defense mechanism, to the point where you're very frail, and a small infection or bacteria can kill you. He was healing those kind of people back in what, 80s or 90s, I believe. Okay, and he was brought up to the Supreme Court. This is on Google. There's a newspaper article about it. He was brought to the Supreme Court, and they tried to charge him with, of course, he didn't have a license. He wasn't a MD. He wasn't a practitioner. He didn't have anything. No paperwork, no education, right, to show, right? No medical school, nothing. But he was healing these people, and he was claiming, right? That's what they were saying. He was claiming, and he was putting out statements in the newspaper articles saying, man cures, etc., etc., etc. Which, if you know anything, is taking money out the pockets of the pharmaceutical industry, which is Esau's huge fucking beast, part of the beast machine, man. It's just a huge beast. All right? That's why I said, again, I'm not an MD, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a naturopathic doctor, I'm not a holistic practitioner. I'm just someone who knows some stuff, all right, from the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right? And when he was brought up to court, of course, the prosecution came and they said, how can you claim this, and et cetera, et cetera. So the judge asked Dr. Sebi to bring a patient or like a witness for every case, for every disease that you heal. Bring someone as proof. And then I believe in the article it said he brought like 80 or 100 people. You know, basically he went overboard, and you know, they had to drop the case. And then shortly after, I believe he moved to Honduras, right? But again, if you look into his diet, per se, there's nothing wrong but he's restricting you of meat. And while I'm not saying meat is the creme de la creme, you know, the top of the crop, and you need to consume it, because matter of fact, I'm going to bring out this scripture in the book of Romans. He's very right on meat. I'll say this, but it is not unlawful to eat meat. I'll say that as well. Just trying to find one scripture in the book of Romans. Come on, this is Romans 14 and verse 1. Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. For one believeth that he may eat all things. Again, use your P's and Q's, man. This is applying to the law. Not all things. You can't go out and eat swine. You can't go out and eat shrimp. You can't eat oysters or octopus. Those are unlawful things. Pertaining into the law, all things are lawful. But again, when you look at certain recommendations in the law, like in the book of Proverbs, where Solomon spoke about it is better to have, I gotta bring it out. I can't talk about it. I gotta bring it out. I have a bad habit of just quoting shit. You gotta get accurate. This is Proverbs 15 and 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith, like oxtail. Right? So Solomon said, better is a dinner of herbs where love is. Why? Because you feel better. Have an experiment. One night, have your potato, your starch, with a steak or oxtail, you know, some heavy meat. Examine how you feel. Next day, have a salad with some lentils, you know, some beans, maybe some wild rice or quinoa. See how you feel. Examine it too. All right, because studies, you know, Esau's studies, but we know it goes back to the scriptures, because it tells you that you know, the more meat you eat, so to speak, you can actually you're moodier, you might be angry more, right? And these are all backed up by Esau's studies, which we don't need backing up, but simps do. Simpletons do. So back to Romans 14 and 2. For one believeth that he may eat all things. Yeah, there's a brother, you know, I gotta have meat in every meal. Hey, you know, I can't tell you you're breaking the law. No one really can, but someone can advise you to say, you know, add in some greens or take or cut back on the meat, especially which kind of meat as well, right? Because we're not even dealing with organic chicken or beef or lamb like 100 years ago, even though it says organic. The best shit to get, I would say, in my opinion, is free run, right? If you get eggs, don't get those omega-3 eggs where they just literally inject with a needle with omega-3. Get free run eggs, meaning the chickens are not cooped up in a fucking jail 4x4 or whatever the fuck it is. They're running, all right? They're active. They're not angry, right? They're doing things. They're more healthier, so you can understand. Get those kind of eggs. You know, pesticide, herbicide, hormone-free chicken breast, etc. But again, it's the best of the worst. We're in the worst case scenario, man. Again, like I said, a brother can eat that, fine. Then it says, another who is weak eateth herbs, a vegan. So in the truth, you know, there's a lot of greater disputations, but the Lord just got me talking about this, but there's a lot of bigger disputations that you can refer to among brothers, but this is one of them. You might have a brother that's a meat eater and a vegan, and there might be an actual beef between the two. First of all, that's just simple as hell, because we have bigger fish to fry. We're not about that. We're not about comparing brothers' diets, or that's just like comparing old brother, you know. And this happened before, man. These things happen. That's why Paul wrote letters to different churches, because if you notice in each letter, there's different things, but it all applies to the same matter, because if you're doing it, it applies to you, right? So a letter to the Corinthians was different from a letter to the Ephesians. And you read the letters and they're different because Paul lists out of certain things that they do. The Corinthians were, I believe it was the Corinthians, they were completely bugging out, man. He said, there's fornication among you that I have not heard among the Gentiles, such as one taketh his a mother, his father's a woman. You know? So there's different scenarios that Paul wrote to. So again, we're not about some foolish, I'm a meat eater and you're a vegan. You know, it's different between, you know, if you just play around. But I'm talking about, you know, you go to camp and you look at that guy, fucking motherfucker eats meat, man. You know, what's wrong? What's wrong with him? Leave the brother alone, man. Because at the end of the day, like Paul said, let me get it. You know, this thing takes balance. This thing takes experience. That's why the apostles are at the level they're at, man. And you guys can't reach there. All right? Nobody can reach there. I can't reach. Nobody can because they're already up there, man. And it's the Most High that exalted them. So you guys talking shit about the apostles, man. You guys don't know how deep this thing goes. I don't know how deep this thing goes, man. I'm just still looking through it, man. Yeah, I'm trying to see. This is 1 Corinthians 6 and 12. All things are lawful unto me, meaning within the law. Right? When we read in Romans, he eateth all things. Like I said, does it mean oysters and shrimp and some fucking nasty ass pork? No. Right? All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient, meaning profitable. That's what the word expedient means. It means profitable. So go into the law. Yes, you can have multiple women. That is lawful. In this day and age, is that expedient? Is that profitable? No. All right. First of all, do you have the money for that? That's the first thing that should come into your head, because in the ancient world, you actually paid for your bride. In this kingdom, you got to take care of your woman. Get her things, do, you know what I mean? Do things. Second of all, do you have the time? It tells you in the Apocrypha that wisdom cometh by leisure, meaning free time. And Paul also said, he that had a woman careth for the things of the world, man. But he that doesn't care for the things of the Most High. Right? So you got to look at it in that aspect. But again, if you're that guy that has 4 or 5 women and you're doing the word, who the hell can say something against you, man? And you don't have that great of a responsibility, but you should strive for evolving. All right, you shouldn't stay. You shouldn't be really comfortable in that position. You know, you want to always strive to do better. But like someone like a camp leader or second in command, third, it tells you that in the ancient world that the king he couldn't have multiple women, wives, but many kings did. Reason being because you have a lot of responsibility for the people, right? All things, back in 1 Corinthians 6 and 12, all things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Paul, he became a eunuch, meaning he didn't deal with women because he dedicated himself to the craft of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, this word. That's what he did. Again, whose ever spirit can handle it, right? Everyone's spirit, everyone has a different lot, everyone has a different disposition of the spirit, right? So back to Romans, again, another who's weak eateth herbs, so like a vegan. So don't get that mixed up. Verse 3, let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not. You see that? So let not the man that's eating meat saying, yo, why don't you eat meat? You need that protein. You need that protein, son. You know, you can't get that. First of all, if you do study, you can get protein from a pure raw vegan diet. You can look up men that are weightlifters and natural bodybuilders that do not eat meat, and they're buff as hell. They're strong. They have muscle. They practice hypertrophy. Okay. So again, like I said, you got to look into it, man, because you just shouting out protein, 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 like that's doing something, right? Let's look into protein. Protein is what? When your body ingests protein, it breaks down into amino acids, which I believe 8 are essential, meaning your body doesn't make them. You have to get them from your diet. The rest your body makes. I believe there's 20 or 22 amino acids in general. Okay, so you eating dead flesh, which all it is dead flesh, because you burned, you grilled that sucker, you fucked it up. Okay, unless you bake it, you know. Um, it's not as healthy. It's not as healthy as you think, man. Okay, that's what I used to think. That's what majority of people think because that's what you're taught. Okay. First of all, it takes a very long time to digestive system. If you already have a weak digestive system, you will not digest it properly. You may not even digest all the protein that you think you're getting. Okay, because there's a thing called enzymes that come into play. Majority of us are deprived of enzymes. Why? Because we don't eat enzyme-rich food, and most likely you do not go out and buy enzyme supplements. You got to get your gut bacteria or your flora, okay? Because you have good bacteria and you have bad bacteria. Bacteria isn't a bad thing, okay? Fermented foods like what they call it, kefir, right? Like fermented like cheeses. Those are good sources of good gut bacteria, gut culture, right? Or bacteria culture. You gotta fix that gut first, man. You know, if your gut is if your GI, your which is your gastrointestinal tract, which starts in your right here, where your larynx is, your throat, goes all the way down to your anus. That's how long it is. And think of that. That's your pipes. You gotta clean your pipes, man. That's another thing. If you don't detox, um, that's why people take certain supplements. People take certain supplements and they don't work because your body's really full of toxins. Your body can't even assimilate or think about doing certain things, let alone digestion. Digestion is a big process. That's why they tell you nowadays, which we know it's all from the scriptures, that fasting once a week is very, 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 very healthy. There's so many benefits of fasting. For one thing, it takes ease off your digestive system. Your body gets a rest, a break, so we can do other things. Okay, like I said, that meat, man, is going down to your esophagus, all the way down. Then when it gets your small intestines, your body takes a long time to digest that. And if you don't have the proper enzymes, or if your gallbladder is fucked up and you're not making bile, which bile absorbs fat and helps to break it down into smaller particles, lipids, you're not digesting fat. And that's why so many people, a lot of people, they get gallbladder surgery. They have to remove their gallbladder because it gets inflamed or an infection or something like that. And it's a simple fix, man. Your liver creates the bile and stores it in the gallbladder. That's the point of the gallbladder. The gallbladder, there's a hormone that's created every time bile is needed, so the gallbladder pushes out the bile. It's like a thick yellowish fluid. If that's not working, you're not digesting your fat. I'm talking about good fat, like unsaturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated fat. Which mono means one, poly means many. Okay, you're not digesting fat, man, and that fat helps your brain optimize properly, among other things in your body. Um, Protease is a protein digesting enzyme. If you don't have that, like I said, where do you get these enzymes? It's fresh raw food. That's why you should have a salad first before you have your meat or fish. I would recommend fish. And fish also, for people out there that are listening or listen to or drink the Kool-Aid. You guys are drinking the Kool-Aid. People say, oh, you can't, fish is good. You can't have too much of it though. Mercury, gotta watch out for mercury. Well, the thing is about fish, This is what Yahweh Shem Shai imparted. Is very rich in selenium. Selenium is a mineral, okay, needed for your thyroid. Okay, it helps convert or let iodine. I don't want to get too technical, but it lets iodine convert your T4 to T3. T3, all you have to know is the part of the thyroid. All right, I believe it's a hormone. It goes into the cells and tells the cells what to do. All right, that's what your T3 is responsible for. Regulates blood sugar, metabolism, right? Weight loss problems, all thyroid. Selenium is needed. If you look up, soil mineral depletion, right? Soil mineral depletion, soil mineral depletion is great today because it's a great matter because Esau is depriving the soil of its minerals. The two most attacked minerals, or one being mineral, the other vitamin, is selenium and vitamin E. Vitamin E is a very strong antioxidant. Okay. Selenium is the other attacked one. Now, what selenium does, okay, from the fish, yes, there's mercury. We're not denying that. Mercury is a heavy metal that's very toxic to the body, right? You don't want mercury. What selenium does, found in studies, it binds to the mercury and flushes it out the body. I'm going to say it again. Selenium binds to the mercury and flushes it out of the body. So mercury is not accumulated in your body. Okay? So eat as much fish as you want. I'm not saying every meal have fish. I'm saying every day it's not bad at dinner to have a small piece of fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardine. I believe either sardine or mackerel, they have the highest content of selenium. Right? That was just a little point there. So like something like a steak or like I said, oxtail, something very like even you can't. It's hard to chew. If it's hard, hey man, if it's hard to chew, what do you think is gonna happen in your pipes, man? It's gonna be a long time to break down. It takes, I believe, up to a day or more to break down meat, and 18 hours or so to break down fish, or 15 hours, something like that. So again, it sits in your gut. So yeah, you may not even be getting all the protein from your damn steak or whatever you're eating because you don't have the enzymes to break it down. If you don't have the enzymes to break it down, your body just flushes that shit out through your colon. It's garbage. Nutrients, garbage. You know, there's people out there that they take mineral supplements, they eat, they try to do this and that, but they can't absorb certain vitamins or minerals because they may not have the certain enzymes to, or I should say macronutrients. But sometimes people can't break down certain minerals either. So again, as the scripture says, man, don't despise. That's foolish. That's simple, man. That's simple as hell. That's simple as all hell to despise someone for eating meat or doing this. Again, there's playful little quarrels, right? Little debates. It says debate thy cause with thy neighbor. You might tell a brother, hey, like I said, you know, cut down from having 3 meat meals a day to 1 to dinner, which is optimal. That's not something that's even that difficult to do, right? That's not difficult to do. And at the end of the day, that specific person, that brother, might be just looking out for you, man. It might not be in a mischievous manner. And let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, because it usually works that way. That's what I noticed. The person that eats the meat, he'll just say, yo, bro, you need that protein. Why aren't you getting that protein, man? You got to get on that meat. And then that person that is eating the raw vegan diet, right? he's judging that meat eater, the brother, for whatever reason, yeah, whatever reason. But again, it's just simple, man. Um, for the Most High had received him. At the end of the day, he's a man of the Lord. Okay? And guess what? Yahushua loved to eat and he loved to drink. That's why they called him a wine bibber and a glutton. Okay? Which he wasn't a glutton or a wine bibber, but he enjoyed his meals, man. Yahushua wasn't a vegan. Okay? A raw vegan. Verse 4. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. So it's of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that looks at that man whichever way. You can't look at another brother and say, well, why is his diet like this? You can only consult, like Apostle Tahar. He'll get on brothers, man. If you're eating a damn Mars bar or a Twinkie, man, there might be something wrong with you that day. There might be something wrong with your cognition that day. Because it happens to me, and then I find myself, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? A spirit might jump on you, man, or a certain frequency. But when have you heard Apostle Tahar say, brothers, don't eat meat? He can never give a command like that because that's not in the law. You're your own man, just like no one can tell you, brother, you can't deal with that Edomite, or you can't deal with that Moabite, or you can't deal with that Ishmaelite. Right? Use balance, man. Use your P's and Q's, man. Yea, he shall be holding up, for the Most High is able to make him stand. Verse 5, one man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. There's different brothers that have different perceptions and thoughts, man. Right? Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Right? So let that brother take time if you want him, to kind of come back on the meat. Throw him a video, shoot him a video of a lecture or a seminar about meat eating or whatever, man, for the benefits of going raw or whatever, fasting, right? Work on it, work on that kind of level. Verse 6, he that regardeth the day regardeth it unto the Lord, and he that regardeth not the day to the Lord, he doth not regard it. If you don't regard that any day to the Lord, you're not really regarding the day. So he's in his mind that day is special, and he's regarding it in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. He that eateth to the Lord, for he giveth the Most High thanks. He blesses his food, just like you bless your food, right? And he that eateth not to the Lord, he eateth not and giveth the Most High thanks. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. For whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord's. Period. Point blank period, man. So you can't go that route, man. So I want to get back into this diet thing, because like I said, Dr. Sebi, he's a big dude, right? But if you look at his list, he has a food recommendation list. You can type this on Google, Dr. Sebi's recommended list, and they'll show you the spices that are recommended, the lentils, the grains, etc., the vegetables. Certain vegetables he does not recommend. He basically does not recommend anything that is not made by nature, any man-made hybrid. Okay, like for example, broccoli is a man-made hybrid, so he would not recommend that because in his knowledge, in his ways, he deems it unfit for the body because it creates a state of acidosis or furthers acidosis. Acidosis being a state of acidity. Your body is acidic. All right. For people out there, you can type in pH scale on Google, and they'll have foods on the pH scale. You want to have your pH level. pH is potential hydrogen, meaning you have acidity and alkalinity. You want to be somewhere between 7.3 to 7.5. That is your optimal range. You do not want to be at 8, 9, fucking 10. That's you can die, right? And again, if you're 7 and below, you're in a state of acidosis. Acidosis is where disease thrives. Cancer loves the environment, an acidic environment. It's been shown. The Cedar might won a Nobel Prize. I forget his name, but he won a Nobel Peace Prize in the 30s, I believe, for proving that cancer cannot live in an acidic or alkaline environment. It thrives in an acidic environment. So Dr. Sebi believes that whatever food is hybrid or man-made or not natural, 100% how it is, untouched, then it another aspect is it will compromise the mucous membranes of your body, which then creates disease, discomfort, and an acidic environment. So if you're constantly, but again, in his ways, he doesn't believe in amino acids either, in protein or enzymes. So again, we're going to know all things in the kingdom, but what I can tell you is he will tell you honey is unlawful, or not unlawful, but it is not beneficial to the body, or it's not recommended by him, basically. One of the foods. And we know in the scriptures that's one of the most nutritious foods that there is. So again, who are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to man, or are you going to listen to the scriptures? Right? Where does your faith lie? John the Baptist died. He was in the wilderness. He could have perished out there. There was no 911. There was no hotel. There's no McDonald's. There's nothing. He's in the wilderness, man. His diet was raw honey and locusts. And I did a lesson on this a couple months ago. If you check out the spectrum of macro and micronutrients, micronutrients are being your vitamins, minerals, enzymes, etc. If you check out the spectrum of the nutrient content of those two foods, it covers everything. It covers your protein, it covers your fat, it covers your carbohydrates, and it has minerals, vitamins, and enzymes. Raw honey, unpasteurized. I'm not talking about that liquid shit. #1 Canada and a teddy bear that you go to fucking Freshco, no frozen sea. I'm talking about raw honey, okay? In its raw state, you can just take a tablespoon, 1 to 3 tablespoons a day. Antibacterial, antifungal, enzymes, minerals, vitamins. All right, very, very, very beneficial stuff. All right, and locust, he ate locust, which is again amino acids, and raw honey has amino acids as well, protein. So that's just one aspect, like who you're gonna listen to, right? So in the law, we can start from a GMO. Okay, I have some notes here. A GMO, what is a GMO? It's a genetically modified organism. This is what Esau creates. He can splice genes. He can splice certain genes and put them into food. He can splice monkey genes and put them into food. He can splice mosquito genes, put them into food. He can splice genes from viruses, put them into food, right? This is, of course, unlawful. It's a result of a laboratory process where genes from the DNA of one species are extracted and artificially forced into the genes of an unrelated plant or animal, something foreign, something that Yahweh Shem Yahushai did not create. Right? Leviticus 19:19, ye shall keep my statutes, thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. So a cow, you can't mate a cow with a fucking sheep, man, or a horse. Although people did, that's why this law exists, man. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seeds. So you can't have a field with grapes and corn, you know, or whatever you can think of, right? You can't mix seeds together. So foods that result from mixed seeds are unlawful. All right. So again, an aspect of Dr. Sebi is right. But again, he cuts, like I said, he go to the law. Eating meat is lawful. Eating honey is lawful. Drinking wine is lawful. He does not believe in that, but yet he smokes weed. So who are you gonna listen to, right? Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. You can't have mixed garments. Everything has 100% cotton, 100% wool, etc., etc., 100% silk. Deuteronomy 22:9. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. Okay? So your fruit is defiled if it is of two mixed seeds, if it's a hybrid. Right? Genesis 1:25. And the Most High said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed. So every herb, every tree, every fruit, vegetables, they all have seeds, man. Only a devil like Monsanto would create a seedless fruit or a seedless gene. And the crazier shit is when you go to an organic, okay, organic store, and in the organic store, you will see organic seedless watermelon. People don't pay attention to this. People say, oh, this is organic. I'm in an organic, you don't even have to read it. I'm in an organic store. I read that shit one time. I'm just, that doesn't make any kind of sense. They're just playing off the part that they didn't spray pesticide or herbicide or fungicide or any garbage on that fruit, on that watermelon, right? But it's seedless. The seed is can you create a baby without a seed, without sperm? The seed is where the information is. The seed is where the nutrients come from. The seed is where all the information comes from. Right? And by the way, when you eat watermelon seed, a watermelon doesn't grow in your stomach. That's what I was scared to believe, so I would spit the watermelon seeds up. But when you eat the watermelon seed, you not only get nutrients and minerals from there, it's also anti-parasitic. It kills parasites in your body. Esau, with his folk tales and all this bullshit, will tell you don't eat the seeds. Okay? Seedless grapes. Again, all these things are foreign to your body. Your body does not recognize these things. It does not understand what the hell is going on. This messes up your whole nervous system. Your body can go out of whack, man. All these artificial flavors and colors and preservatives, man. These are foreign things to the body that sometimes the body can handle and flush out, right? And detox, because your body detoxes itself naturally via the liver. The liver has the function of detoxification. But again, the majority of you people, your liver does not even function properly. I'm not even going to say optimally. I'm going to say like 50%. It doesn't even function because you don't detox your liver. You don't take care of your liver. You don't even care about, you don't even care about anything, right? You don't take liver tonics. You know what I mean? You think you can drink throughout your whole 20s, man. And then when you're 30 and then in your mid 30s or your early 40s, some of you motherfuckers drink to your 30s. You think everything's okay, or why do I have hepatitis or cirrhosis, or you know what I mean? All these crazy ass diseases because you don't take care of your body. And your liver is one of the main fucking organs, which it's not an organ. It's I believe there's another word for it. I forget. It's slipping my mind. It's a gland. Liver is a gland. You don't care to take care of it, man. And without your liver, you die. All right. The main thing you can do before you start anything, any diet, you need to detox. You need to flush your system out. You can detox your liver. You can detox your kidneys. That's a very other important organ. Okay. Your digestive system. Clean the pipes, man. Because all that shit is stuck in your system. Clean out your colon. All right. Um, Fix your gallbladder digestive issues, your pancreas as well. Now, pancreas, I wanted to speak about this as well. Um, Pancreas, let me just check this. Pancreas is very important because this is where the topic of diabetes comes from, right? You have type 1 and type 2. Type 2 being the most common is you're insulin resistant. Okay, insulin is a hormone. Okay, when you ingest carbs, which turns into glucose, your pancreas creates the hormone insulin, which goes into the bloodstream and takes the glucose. Now, what happened? There was a meme I saw a couple of days ago that just blew my mind. It said the average 8-year-old child has consumed more sugar than a person in their whole lifetime 100 years ago. Okay, you got to take that in because A, it's not even regular sugar. This is synthetic white bleach sugar. Sugar, natural sugar. If you eat strawberries or banana or blueberries, they have sugars. But what do they come with? They come with fiber. They might come with enzymes. They might come with minerals and vitamins. You are just eating processed, refined sugar that has no mineral benefit. It is literally empty calories, just like in the Coca-Cola can, right? That is what you are consuming. Refined bullshit, right? So it's not even like cane sugar or you know what I mean, natural sugar or coconut sugar or something, or fig sugar, where there's other benefits. So type 2 is your resistance. So what happens is you're constantly all day, you're not even paying attention to your diet. You're just consuming whatever you feel. You have no discipline. You're just consuming whatever you feel. So all the sugar is constantly in your body. Your pancreas is constantly shooting out insulin all day. What happens? Your pancreas basically goes, fuck you, okay? I ain't doing this shit no more. And you become insulin resistant, resulting in too much glucose in your bloodstream. Type 2 diabetic. What do? Put you on some fucking bullshit medication. Might give you a 1-2 tips about diet. All right. But then they sit you down, they hold your hand, they say, you're gonna have to be on these for the rest of your life. Lifelong customer. Right? I knew someone that this is a real devil, man. This devil Esau, he's a real El Diablo, man. This devil, this devil, he was giving this Italian guy, Sicilian guy, medication for high blood pressure. Yeah, he was up in age, I believe 60s, maybe 70s. High blood pressure medication on it for years, right? Symptoms come and go. Years later, he got diabetes from that medication because it was a side effect. And that's what these drugs do. They have side effects, man. Watch a fucking drug commercial, man. I was watching this one about Abilify, which is an antipsychotic they give to people that are already on antidepressants. You're already on an antidepressant and they're giving you something else for that depression if it worsens. And in the fucking commercial, they're telling you if your depression worsens, you might get suicidal thoughts, coma, or death are side effects. Just watch these commercials, man. You already know. So he got diabetes, man, which is no joke. And then again, they tell you, it's not reversible. And listen, man, I was a pre-diabetic myself, man. I was I was obese. I was overweight. Um, I might have I might have been. I didn't go to the doctor, but I might have already fucking been a type 2 diabetic. You know, I'm not gonna officially tell anyone I was diagnosed with diabetes, but again, I had certain tests done later that I was still cutting down, but I was still in the category of pre-diabetic, right? Um, I had very high glucose levels in the bloodstream. You know, I had a big sweet, I still have a big sweet tooth, but you gotta manage it, right? Um, there's actually a herb out there for people. This herb it's called Gymnema, Gymnema. It's East Indian herb. I'll never forget it, man. Um, this herb you can drink as a tea. It it helps curb the need for glucose, sugar craving. But what it does that's even more crazier is you can, instead of drinking the tea, you can actually take a couple of leaves, put them in your mouth, just let them like on your tongue, just let your saliva take it in. Because when you put some in your mouth, this is why you shouldn't drink while you eat, because the first stage of digestion happens in your mouth. When you put something in your mouth, saliva is produced from your glands in the mouth, your salivary glands. The first enzyme is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me look it up, is amylase. This breaks down carbs or sugars. Amylase, right? It breaks down breakdown of starches into sugars. So the first step of digestion happens in your mouth from amylase, which is an enzyme. Um, it breaks down sugars. So when you drink, juice or water, you, you skip that kind of, and it just goes into your GI, digestive system. So you want to keep that there. So again, you take these leaves, you put them on your tongue, let them soak in. I kid you not, man. This thing, I don't know how it works, but it basically blocks receptors of you tasting something sweet. Okay, I did this. I had a I had a I had a donut with decked out, man, cream like sprinkled, like sweeter than anything, man. Like I just wanted to test it out from Tim Hortons, right? Um, I took it, the gymnema, let it soak in, spit it out, or I think I swallowed it. You can swallow it, the herb. Um, I bite the donut. There's no sign of sugar. There's completely no sign of sweetness. I'm literally all I'm tasting is just dough. It's just the dough, the yeast, and it just tastes like it tastes more plainer than fucking white bread, right? So you can get this herb Gymnema from a herb store, maybe online if you know a herb store, or like I said, Amazon or Gymnema, Gymnema, Gymnema. Okay. Um, so obviously you're not gonna eat it because there's nothing sweet. So you take it throughout the day, you nib on it, and you eat your protein, your fat, um, your rice or whatever for your carbs. But something very, very sweet, you're not gonna taste it because this herb actually blocks your receptors from tasting sweetness. See, this is how powerful these things are, man. And this is why it tells you in the Apocrypha, this is in the book of Ecclesiasticus 38 and 1. It says, honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which you may have of him, for the Lord hath created him. And real physicians help people, they heal people, right? Real physicians heal people, man. These doctors today, all they're looking for is customers, right? That's all they're looking for. These doctors, they don't heal you, man. Salakia. They don't heal you, man. They're not real physicians. It says, verse 2, for of the Most High cometh healing, and this is the most important part because it's not of the physician, you know. I'm gonna try to find the story in the Book of Kings. This king, he trusted in the physician more than the Lord, so the Lord took him out. Um, if I can't find it, Salakia, my apologies. I'm just on the spot. Yeah, I can't. I think I can find the story. But you gotta trust in the Most High, man. You have to trust in the Most High first, before anything, because like we just read, of the Most High cometh healing. So I can just trying to find the scripture. Yeah, I can't find the Salakia. But the point being is you gotta trust in the Lord. So the physician is just the instrument, right? So the Most High imparts unto him wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and the physician uses that and heals. And even brothers out there that are healing people, your physician, you always gotta, you make a medicine or you're helping a brother out. Periodically pray, right? If you make a medicine, pray that the Most High make it potent and he heals the brother with it or the sister with it. Um, if you're doing the protocol for the specific person, pray for them. Just heal. Babakusha Yahweh let them heal. Let this medicine heal them. Right. So it's all through the Most High and the Son, man. It's not of you. It's not of the herb itself. Right. Um, verse 3: the skill of the physician. Oh, verse 2: for of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. So this gymnema, this herb that I just spoke about, that blocks the receptor for you to detect or taste sweetness, that just sounds like some drug, like something that Esau would make, some miracle drug. But it's actually in reality a herb that you can purchase very cheaply. It's not an expensive herb. They sell it in capsules or they sell it in the raw leaf, right? Um, verse 5: was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known, right? So again, your pancreas stops producing insulin. You become insulin resistant. I was insulin resistant. Okay. There's many symptoms you get from too much glucose in the body. Okay. One of them is very, very itchiness, rashes, etc., headaches, etc. So you're in the situation, you go to the doctor, I got blah blah blah. They run tests, blood tests, this test, blah blah blah. Maybe medication, maybe a little diet, whatever. You can completely reverse it, man. 110%. You need to be insulin sensitive. Insulin sensitive meaning, I remember when I put it in my protocol, and I started even doing intermittent fasting, which is you fasting for 16 hours and having basically 16 hours of a fasted window and 8 hours of an eating window is a very general ratio. Some people go 20 hours to 4 hours eating window. Some people fast 24 hours. What this does, not only does it reset your body, because again, like I said, your body is amazing, man. The Most High, how He made it to fix it. Your body heals itself. There's certain times your body actually, like I said, detoxes. And you can look up a thing called circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is your biological clock. Okay, your melatonin starts being produced at 7 p.m. It stops being produced at 7 a.m. Needed for sleep and many other things. Um, Your liver detoxes, I believe, at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. If you miss that sleeping period, you miss that detoxification. That's why the sleeping pattern is very, very, very important. Us men of the Lord, man, we don't get much sleep. So that's why do you think Paul said, outwardly we are dying, man? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Bear with me. This is 2 Corinthians 4. And 16. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And I look up this word outward, see what it says.
Strong's G 1854. Exo.
Exo, which means without, out of the doors, the flesh. So our outward man perishes daily, man. We don't get the proper shit we need. We don't get the proper nutrients. We try to do our best. That's all we can do. We try to do our best. So again, you miss certain. Matter of fact, let me look it up just so I can refer to it. The circadian rhythm. Okay, this is where a lot of problems. Your adrenal fatigue, which is like 80% of fucking problems today, is your adrenals, which sit on top of your kidneys. That is a very, very big problem. Okay, let's see. Uh, 7:30 a.m. melatonin secretion stops. Okay, the day is starting. 3:30 fastest reaction time. This is according to certain things. Like at 7 o'clock, it goes by 1900 hours. Highest body temperature, 8 o'clock. Where's that? 9. Yeah, 9 o'clock. So like your melatonin secretion starts, not 7. I said 7 before. Okay, but there's more detailed ones that actually talk about certain glands and hormones, what they do. Okay, there are certain other ones that go more detailed. 9 o'clock, highest testosterone secretion. That is 9 o'clock in the night. 2 p.m. or a.m. So like at 2 a.m. is your deepest sleep. My bad, 9 o'clock in the morning is your highest testosterone because it's going in a circle. Like I said, there's different ones. But the point being, if you miss certain times, you're not getting those benefits. And like I said, like I'm no one to speak. You know, I'll be tossing and turning until 3 or 4 in the morning, man. Can't sleep. My bad. So yeah, that's the deal with that. So what you want to do when you fast, if you do start intermittent fasting, you are not dying. You are not going into survival mode either. People say, oh, you got to eat. You don't eat for 5 hours or 2 hours, you're going to die and your body's going to use up your... Listen, man. I got to try to map this out of my head because I'm not reading off anything. When your body doesn't get the fuel, it has something called a glycogen storage, which is in your liver, which is the remaining sugar, glucose, that's released and shot up to the brain, other parts of the body, and muscles have glycogen storage as well. When your liver glycogen gets depleted, your body can't go. There's no sugar in the bloodstream. You didn't ingest anything. There's no more glycogen in the liver. So what your body does, is it goes to its fat storage, which is one of the functions of insulin. Insulin is anabolic hormone. Anabolic meaning building. Anabolic is referred to muscle. That's anabolic. Catabolic is breaking down. Okay, so anabolic building, catabolic breaking. Anabolic is insulin is anabolic. It can be used to build muscle. So after you work out, your depletion of your glycogen, your sugars, right? You're sweating, you burned up all your fuel. If you ingest a proper carbohydrate, I'm not talking about a Mars bar, but maybe well, there's actually fast-acting carbs supplements, but even like quinoa or banana or some shit like that, it boosts your insulin and it also builds muscle. But the problem is, along with being anabolic for muscle, it's also anabolic for fat. So it stores the fat. That's another function of insulin, is it stores your fat, and it stores it in where people don't like it, in the waist area. This is known as adipose fat tissue, right? So when you're fasting, you're depleted of your glycogen in your liver, your glucose storage, right? What does your body do? Does it shut down? Does it go crazy, like survival mode, and your ribs are touching, No. It goes to your fat storage, okay? It goes into your fat storage. This is why the fat exists, because in the ancient world, you might not eat for how long? You're hunting, you might be lucky you pick off some berries and nuts and whatever. You don't have a refrigerator. You don't have fucking, a sausage or leftover chicken breast or, your salad or your quinoa. You know what I'm saying? You're on the move. So your body's and that's its fuel source, is the fat. So when you fast and you are not in a high intensity situation, okay, because now what your body will do is, if let's say you're walking fasted, that's a low intensity, right? Or you're just working, you're sitting your job on your computer, you're doing your small little things, that's low intensity. So for your body to operate, your brain to work, your motor skills, all these things, right? Your functions, your body uses fat because it's fine. Now, if you're working out fasted, if you're jogging and you're sprinting or you're doing a fitness program or you're boxing or something, right? That is high intensity. Your body goes to your muscles. It goes to your muscles glycogen storage. This is why if you want to build muscle, but you also want to burn fat, you do not do a high intensity fasted workout, because you will not burn fat. You will deplete your muscles. You're gonna burn your muscles up. That's when you burn your muscles, right? If you're doing if you're doing a normal walk fasted for an hour, you're burning your fat. This is just how the body works, man. Don't let anyone tell you different. Look it up yourself. But this is how the body works. I'm just telling you how the body works and operates. I'm not giving you this article, that. This is how the body works. All right. So when you fast, many things happen in the body. Look up the benefits of fasting: anti-aging, oxidation, right? Your body gets to focus on repairing other things. Like I said, that your digestive system, man. People underestimate the effort and time it takes to actually digest food, and especially if you're not getting all the proper things I was speaking about, the enzymes and all these certain things, you're not taking care of your body, it ain't gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. So when you're fasted, right, there's no glucose, there's no carbs, there's no fat, there's no protein, there's nothing. Your body's doing is your body's immune system boosts. Many benefits. When you train your body like that, try this, man. 16 hours fasted. Try a blueberry. right? A blueberry, you might, of course, we know it's not sweet as hell. There's not a lot of sugar content. That shit is gonna be sweet as fuck to you. That shit is gonna be very, 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 very sweet, right? Why? Because you are becoming insulin sensitive. So any little sugar, or, you don't need a banana. You don't need a fucking Dunkin' Donut. Something very, very small with a small sugar content. It will be very, very sweet to you. And when you train your body like that, you reverse diabetes type 2. It happens. It happened. It happened to me. It happened to many people. Okay? It's reversible. All you are is you're insulin resistant. You train your body to be insulin resistant. The reason why these kids are growing up, you see these fucking ads of kids, oh, I can never reverse, I can't outgrow my diabetes, I can never reverse. It's because these kids are getting fed in their womb with bullshit. Bullshit. The mother is eating refined shit. The mother is waking up eating Lucky Charms, fucking nasty ass milk, eating Mars bars. All your feet, it goes down your feet. Your baby is getting that food, man. That's why if you're a drug addict and your baby is born, it can come out with crack withdrawal or whatever drug you're on, man, and it starts shaking. We know these things. That's why you can't drink when you're pregnant, because if your baby was completely protected and wasn't getting any nutrients from you, nothing would affect that baby. But there's a connection there, right? So then your baby's not getting breast milk, which has proper bacteria for its gut forming, all the nutrients, all the minerals, everything the baby needs, man. What do you get in it? Formula. What's in the formula? A lot of sugar. Not only sugar, a lot of bullshit, man. The fucking soy, might even, there's some that have heavy metals. They're poisoning your children, man, with that fucking formula shit. So guess what? That child's pancreas is being formed still. That child's brain is being formed still. Nervous system is being formed. So you're telling me that when it's 5, 6, 7 years old, it has diabetes, you're telling it I can't outgrow it, and it's just a condition that just happens. You just become insulin resistant. This is why you fucking devils, man. The Most High is gonna take you down, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna fuck you devils up, man. Because you have a continuous forked tongue, man. You understand? And they put up these fucking ads because they know that people are going back to natural ways and they're healing themselves, man. Like I told you, I was a type 2 diabetic, pre-diabetic, man. I was going down that road. I know many people that were going down that road. All right? So, again, you trained your body to be insulin resistant. You can train your body to become insulin sensitive. And there's herbs that can help you along, like gymnema. But again, you have to clean out the liver first, because your liver has to detox itself, and other many functions. Your pancreas, the three glands or 3 organs that aid in digestion, or they're known as digestive accessory glands or organs, is the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. Like I said, the liver makes the bile, stores it in the gallbladder later. The gallbladder pushes it out to absorb fat, break it down so you can digest the fat properly, right? Or lipase, that's what the fat is called. Like a protein, amino acid, you have fat into lipase. Yeah, so and the pancreas, which another function of the pancreas is making a very, very important enzyme to break down food. I believe it's called pancreatic enzyme, right? So diabetes is a disease of the pancreas. Okay, you gotta fix the pancreas. Also, like I said, you gotta flush the liver, help the liver. If it regulates blood glucose as well, glucose in the bloodstream, etc., etc. So when you do that, when you fast, train your body day in, day out. Take liver tonics, dandelion root. Burdock root. Burdock root is very, 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 very good. Fenugreek, milk thistle. Milk thistle is very good. Um, you know, go to a holistic doctor, man, a proper one. There's a lot of assholes out there that will sell you bullshit. They'll just sell you supplements just because they get 50% off. And you know, I know people that spend $500-$600 a session. Okay, there are a lot of assholes out there too trying to make money. I'm talking about holistic, natural doctors, or practitioners. Do your research, man. Do your due diligent research. I didn't go to school. I again, this is just talk. I'm not giving a diagnostic. I'm not giving a protocol. I'm just talking. Okay. Take those herbs. Make yourself a liver tonic daily. Drink it in a tea, maybe in a tincture, in a capsule form. Take care of your body, man. Start. This is where Dr. Sabi's thing can come in. Try to cut out meat. Try to go from meat to fish, and then from fish to just greens for a month. Just greens with lentils and grains. You know, wild rice. Wild rice is better because it's not even really a rice. It's like a grass. I wouldn't fuck with. I wouldn't fuck with. I don't fuck. I don't even fuck with. I'm just telling you. I wouldn't fuck with white rice, brown rice, black. I don't care what the fuck they call it. Um, a lot of heavy metals from polluted waters go into the rice. Wild rice is much better. It's more nutrient dense. Okay, Gad out here in the west, they like in Minnesota, Manitoba area, they grew a lot of wild rice and they ate it. It's very nutrient dense. Quinoa, amaranth, those kind of things, right? Get off the white bread, man. Get off that fucking white flour, bleach flour, white sugar, man. If you got, listen, man. If you got if you open your cupboard and you got a big fucking tub of white sugar, man, just give it to your neighbor, man. Okay, throw it out. That is one of the biggest killers ever, man. Because not only does that has no benefit to your body, it has 100, I believe 100 GI. There's a thing called, I want to bring on, I forget it. I forget the damn name. That's Satan, man. I had the thing in my head. Now I forget it. Blood sugar. One second. There's a damn. What the fuck is that name called? Glycemic index. That's what it's called. I remember it now. Glycemic index. Okay, which we can type it in. Glycemic index is how fast glucose is released to the blood. There are certain foods that have high glycemic content and certain ones that have low. For example, watermelon is 72, very high. Not very high, but it's up there. Bananas 54, like 50 is like mid-range. 50 is like honey. That white sugar that you got is 100, man. Okay, that motherfucker is 100, so it skyrockets. It puts your blood sugar. Your blood sugar is constantly like this. It's a roller coaster of climax and crash, climax and crash, climax and crash. This is where your headaches come in. This is where your fatigue comes in. All these things, and on top of that, you guys drink your fucking coffee with your cream and your milk and all that shit, which burns you out. It causes you to have adrenal fatigue, which your adrenal glands. That's a whole other topic. Lord is will. How about Shem Shah willing? I can bring that out later. It's very detrimental. So again, for people out there with diabetes type 2, check out GI. Okay, this is something your doctor might not even fucking tell you. Most likely he will not, because he's a piece of shit. And they learn this. They learn all these things. They learn how they have to read a book called Geyer's. What the fuck is that called? Geyer's. I forget what the book is called, and it's something would have to do with minerals. But basically, it's mineral relationships. Okay, what I mean by that is, for example, you have potassium, sodium, potassium, right? Those two. Like when Esau tells you don't consume salt, and that's bullshit. That's another whole field, man. There's so much shit that this devil tells you. Your recommended daily allowance or recommended daily dose of certain minerals, they try to scare you on the sodium part, but sodium is such a needed thing, man. It's a needed mineral for the body. It has so many functions. The ancients knew this, man. The ancient people knew this. That's why during even the Roman times, salt this is where you get the word salary from. You want to talk about prized possession or something that's deemed uh, deemed important. Salary comes from the word salt because soldiers were paid in salt at one point. That's what the value of salt was at one point, man. Salt was very important. So you have your sodium, potassium. Sodium is very high, potassium is very low. And you have this relationship, teeter-totter. Another one is zinc and copper. Copper is very high, zinc is very low, around 25 to 30 milligrams of zinc a day. Again, you have all these relationships, man. Calcium, magnesium, etc. The list goes on. These doctors learn this shit. Have you ever heard a doctor talk about, have you ever heard a doctor even ask you to take a mineral deficiency test to see where your minerals are at? Does he even care about that? Because your minerals, this is where your body is made up of minerals. Where it tells you man is of ash and earth. What is in the earth? What is in the soil? Minerals. We're comprised of minerals, right? So minerals have functions. Has your doctor ever asked you that? Probably not. Most likely not. Does he know about it? Hell yeah, because they gotta learn about it. They gotta learn the differences between having too much high copper. If a woman has too much high copper to zinc, this is where she starts having those moody, especially during around that monthly cycle. If you're really high on copper, man, this is where you get that moodiness, man. That the old thing about women being complete monsters during their monthly cycle, if especially if you have a high copper to zinc ratio, and there's many other detriments if your ratios are off. But again, these doctors know all this shit. They don't tell you about it though. So look up glycemic index. Eat foods low in glycemic index to rebalance your insulin sensitivity. Sometimes when I know I'm eating too much sweets, I have to sit down myself and rebalance my mind and say, okay, I got to cut this out. I got to fast this. I got to do this and that. And then when I eat something as simple as a blueberry or something that has a little bit of sugar, but it's not sweet normally to me, because again, what is normal? It's not normal. It's my insulin being too high, me being insulin resistant. So when you're insulin sensitive, those little small things will taste very sweet to you. So again, look up glycemic index. 55 and below is low, medium is 56 to 69, and high is 70. But again, like I said, that pure white sugar, throw that shit out, man. Give it to your neighbor, throw it down the drain. Never bring that shit in your house again, man. All right, because you want to talk about, you got motherfuckers out there talking about, I got type 2 diabetes, but they got a big jar of fucking white sugar that they put in their tea every morning and night. And then they wonder what the hell's going on. You guys are completely lost in the sauce. Another diabetes is type 1 diabetes, which is insulin dependent, which is much more severe. Again, it's a disease of the pancreas. This is where your pancreas does not even create insulin anymore. Okay, it's a disease of the pancreas. You have to fix that. There's herbs and protocols you can take to fix that. I'm not gonna give you any protocols. I'm not a diagnostic. I'm just giving you some advice. Where I would tell you to look at is a bitter melon. Bitter melon is a herb used along with juniper berries it can produce insulin in your body. Type 1 diabetics, this is where they have to shoot them with insulin. They have to get an injection of insulin. If they don't get insulin, that's the hormone necessary for bodily function. They can die. Right? Again, like I said, start with bitter melon and juniper berries. Do your own research. Go down deep into the into the rabbit hole. But check it out, man. Check out those things. It's not the end of the road, man. Esau will tell you that's the end of the road. You're insulin dependent your whole life. That is not the truth, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has created herbs, as we read in Sirach 39 or 38, out of the earth, man. And he that is not foolish, will not abhor them. Esau is a foolish person, man. That's why we're gonna get it. Like Job 30. Esau's the damn fool of the earth, man. This is Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, and whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, and former time desolate and waste. This is referring to Esau when he was in Mount Seir, and then when he fled into the Caucasus Mountains, he became the Geico caveman. And he never stopped being him. Verse 4, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat? The Most High gave him a nutritious diet, a very, very nutrient-dense diet, because juniper roots, juniper berries are very nutritious. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Who's this talking about, man? The Caucasian. Verse 7, among the bushes they brayed, meaning they had their own language. They couldn't even talk. They just mumbled. They just made noises. Under the nettles, they were gathered together. Nettles is another very, very, very nutritious herb. If you look up nettles has a lot of minerals, right? Very nutrient dense, man. It's very beneficial. Nettles also pricks you, right? It has those little, I don't know what the word is. Needles, yeah, needles, you can say. It pricks you, but when it pricks you, it ow, it hurts, whatever. It stings. That's why it's called stinging nettle. That's another name for it. But what it actually pricks you with is the nutrition, is with the minerals. That's where you're actually getting a shot of. Some food for thought. Verse 8, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth, meaning they were nasty as hell. But the point I wanted is they were fools, man. So as we read in Sirach 38, it says, he that is not foolish will not abhor them, man. And Esau's a damn fool. And majority of these herbs, where do they get them from? It's like not herbs, medications. They get them from herbs. Like I always get too confused, man, because I don't take either of them. Aspirin or Advil, I believe Advil, the one for the pain. They get that from white willow bark, which is a herb that you take for pain. That's the main extract or the main ingredient in Advil. Right? So again, I just wanted to talk about that briefly. Get into that. Whoever missed it, you can rewind it back. Get into the health. Like I said, man, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Type 2 diabetes, type 1, it's all reversible, man. You gotta, I would say like it's 90% of your diet, right? 90% your diet. And the diet, like we talked about, is very important. Don't get lost in all these different diets that Esau's coming out with, right? You got to go back to the scriptures. You got to go back to the scriptures. If someone's telling you that pork is a good source of protein, are you going to listen to that person? Of course you're not, right? Even if he's a high decorated personal trainer or TV celebrity or fucking Dr. Oz, right? You got to go back and filter everything through the scriptures, man. Even if it's whatever, it sounds good, it's nutritious, it's whatever, man. The Bible has nutrition. The Bible talks about nutrition. The Bible has a diet laid out. Read Leviticus chapter 11. That's your whole diet. And within that, there's certain tweaks and certain cheat codes, like fasting. Fasting is a cheat code because it actually helps your cells reverse the aging process, the mitochondria. It actually helps your cells reverse oxidation in the body, right? You know, so there's certain things you can do, certain protocols you can take to do that. Again, I hope it didn't overwhelm or go over my time. I want to say Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, for letting me bring this out. You know, hopefully I bring up more information. Anyone got any topics, any questions, hit it up on the comment board when the video gets posted. When they give double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, who I learned the truth from. And salutation to Akim and Akwath out there, brothers and sisters out there. All right, until next time, Shalom.